Good morning and welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope that you guys are having a great day wherever you may be in this crazy, crazy world. I did just want to take a moment to say thank you for, people who have been watching my videos like since the Johnny days and who have just been here through that for whatever random stuff I end up talking about, whatever random videos I'm here speaking about. I just really appreciate you guys being subscribed and always watching and clicking and commenting, and I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that because I started this channel for so many reasons, and it's kind of evolved into other things, and it's become a hobby for me, and it's something that I enjoy, and it's something for me to do in my day and keep up with. So I'm putting on my lashes. So I just wanted to say thank y'all for just even clicking on my little video. Like, who the hell am I? And taking your time, spending your time with me and watching me say whatever the heck comes out of my mouth. It's crazy, but I appreciate you. But as we get more into this, because this morning, I woke up, I do my thing, I check out what's going on with the world. So I was checking on what was going on with the world, and I came across this tweet. And this is having to do with Meghan Markle, Harry, and all that good stuff. We like to talk about that over here. And I will say, I love talking about Harry and Meghan. They always give us something to talk about. There's always something going on with them. It's always something, They give us good content, and I have been realizing other creators talking about them quite a bit. And I try to, when I talk about Meghan and Harry, I try to talk about them with just a little bit of grace, not grace, just a little bit, I try to be fair. And I understand that a lot of people hate them, can't stand them, think they're awful, need to go back to where they came from. And I get that, they think that they're awful. The more that I've delved into this, and that's something that's just not going to change. People have this view of her for a reason. They have the reasons. There's no changing their mind. That's just what it is. But I do think that the hate that these two receive, while some of the stuff that I've seen and some of the stuff that they've done is questionable, I do feel like some of the hate this couple has received is just kind of unnecessary. Some of the things I've seen, I think it's too much, And you can disagree with me. A lot of people do. They think that the hate is warranted. But I don't know. I just don't like it. And I've tried not to approach my videos and when talking about them in a hateful way. I always try to stay above that. And for most parts, I try to do that when speaking about people, unless it is a certain somebody, then I'm kind of just F that shit. Because I truly, and then certain people who deserve it, they don't deserve that, grace, because they've done, horrible, horrible, horrible things. But Meghan and Harry are a young couple out here trying to figure out what the hell they're doing after they've disconnected themselves from the royal family. They've got 2 kids. They're trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do. And we're kind of just following along. We do this in our life, in general, our daily life, but nobody's following us around and having everything in the world to say about it as we're trying to figure out what we're going to do next in our life, or what's the next phase, and this, that, and other. We're all constantly trying to figure stuff out like that. But Meghan and Harry, given that they're public figures, they do that in the public eye. And I try to stay, not talking about them hatefully and everything like that. But my point is, I was looking on Twitter, and I saw this tweet about a creator, apparently, Shannon, I believe that's how you say her name, Shannon Lester. And she apparently is suing Meghan and Harry. Specifically, I think more so Meghan, because she does not like Meghan at all, this Shannon Lester chick. She is a creator on YouTube. She does videos. And she actually, apparently, the reason why she's doing this, and I'm going to get more of a deep dive when I get home later, because, like, I'm getting ready to go to work, trying to put my lashes on. Trying. But apparently, she is suing Meghan Markle because Shannon Lester appeared in the Harry and Meghan documentary at one point. There's a clip. So, and I guess the way that she was described or something, there was an issue she has with that. I'm going to get more into it to see exactly what the issue is, but I watched that clip. It is very clear that she cannot stand Meghan. It is very clear that she feels wronged for whatever reason, in which I need to get more into the reasoning as to why she feels so wronged. And when I looked at the clip, there was one clip like that I'll clip before this. She's talking about, there are a lot of Black creators that, don't like Meghan. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure there are. But then she goes into, for example, Candace Owens. Well, hold the hell up. Don't have Candace Owens be a goddamn overarching whatever for Black creators. Let's not do that. Because I don't feel like I agree with anything or side with anything. Like, I'm a Black creator. I'm a Black person who does videos on YouTube, but I do not, and I talk about Meghan Markle, but I am not any way saying that I dislike Meghan, and I am in no way to be compared or saying that Candace Owens speaks for me or I'm in the same, oh fuck no, hell to no. So I didn't really like that in her video. She's trying to make a point that, like, Meghan's saying, like, this overarching archetype of the people who are hating her are like these middle-aged housewives that sit at home and just talk shit about Meghan. And Shannon's like, I'm not a middle-aged, I'm, younger than Meghan. I'm not a housewife, I work. So none of that is true. I simply don't like her, pretty much. So I watched that. And then I went over, and Shannon Lester, I feel like I've seen her face before. This is not my first time hearing this name, Shannon, but I've never really listened to her videos. I've seen her probably come across my recommended for something or another. Oh my god. My lashes are just giving me all hell this morning. I've probably seen her come across my recommendeds. I thought she would, like, talk about narcissism and, like, dating and stuff like that, but, like, she's kind of really delved into the Meghan content, like a lot of creators are, because it does give you good views talking about Meghan and Harry. It does. People like it. People click, especially if you're talking about them in a way that is negative, or you're, like, getting on that bandwagon of, like, hate, horrible, rage. Like, you're definitely going to get the views because people want to watch it. Which brings me into Popcorn Planet, which I have seen has been doing a lot of coverage lately on Meghan and Harry. And I don't feel like it used to be that way. And I've just noticed it, because I follow Andy on Twitter, and he'll, like, post when his videos are up, and I'm like, this is a lot of Harry and Meghan content. I do not recall them doing that. And I haven't really watched the videos, but I can imagine from, like, reading the comments and stuff, that it's not positive light that they're talking about them in. I'm pretty sure it's along that line of, like, hating on them. But like I said, I haven't really watched most of his videos. But what I did yesterday, I went and was looking on Twitter underneath, like, when he would post, looking at the comments underneath the tweet. And I think Andy, like, in the beginning when he first started tweeting, people were like, yeah, like, do this, like, we want to hear about it, like, this, that, and the other. People were very much like, yeah, make your videos. They're on his side, like, commenting I guess, in agreement with him or whatever the topic was underneath the Twitter post. And then as more recent videos come out, underneath it's like, oh, you're so obsessed, all you do is talk about them, you're getting on this bandwagon of the hate train, like you've turned into da 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 da. And so I'm like, but then I did, you know, people aren't dumb. Like, people know what you're doing when you're like, you start making a whole bunch of content on one topic. All of a sudden it's obviously for monetary gain. So I did see under one tweet someone made a comment about it, you know, like basically he's like just using it to make money, and he's like, you know, the audience, it seems to love it, they watch it, it's in the views, like what am I supposed to do? I'm giving the audience what they want. It's hard to create on YouTube and find something that people actually want to watch, and so when you do, you kind of just roll with it. And I think that's what Popcorn Planet is doing at this time. Like, I think they even want to make a channel specifically for this royal news. And I know Steph, the alternate who works with Popcorn Planet, and Andy, like, she already talks about, you know, the royal family stuff like that on her channel. And I think she's from Europe, the UK, or whatever, all that over there. She's from there, and she's been covering it for a while, but her titles seem to always be like very, very like clickbaity, very like Meghan's awful, these horrible grifters, like, you know, the titles are very salacious and everything like that. So it's just interesting seeing, you know, different creators talk about Meghan and Harry and how they choose to talk about them and their feelings. It's just been interesting to see Popcorn Planet go on this route, and like, I have been seeing it, and I've been seeing the titles, and it's not been anything that appealed to me, because I just don't want to sit and watch people hate talk about this woman. Like, I just don't. Like, granted, it could be something other than that, because I don't know, because I didn't watch the video. But from the title, that's what the titles that I see him post, that's what it seems like it's going to be. And I just hope he doesn't like keep going down that route, because just spreading that hate and like talking negatively about people constantly, you start to feel it, you know? That's why I had to take a break from talking about like that, because this shit get in your spirit. Shit get in your spirit. You be talking, saying all these words about somebody, getting in your spirit. And I just need to take a break. Yes, I don't like this woman. Yes, like, I think what she's done is awful, but I can't just sit and, you know, do that, because, you know, I don't want nothing coming back on me, putting that energy out there. But anyway, at times it is warranted, and yes, I cannot stand So, and then I decided to go click on Shannon Lester's, I decided to go to her YouTube just to see if I can hear more of what the hell she has to say about Meghan, to get more insight on this, you know, suing her, just, you know, to get caught up on what the hell is going on, that someone is suing Meghan. And the first video I see is her basically talking about Meghan and how she has lost this Spotify deal with the podcast, which, you know, isn't the best look. It really isn't, because they weren't producing content, and they had all these people working on with them, and, you know, this, that, and other. Like, I see the point there, and it's kind of just sad that you weren't able to produce when you had all this help and this, and that. Like, I get the point, like, whatever. But she goes into, because I guess she's been getting a lot of new followers and stuff, and she kind of like introduces herself, and, you know, she's like, she doesn't like Meghan because, and I'm paraphrasing, she's pretty much saying she does not like Meghan because Meghan represents every archetype of like what she thinks is wrong with like this world, or like whatever, this country, or like every archetype of what she thinks is wrong. She thinks that Meghan is a professional victim and is making like a livelihood off of being a victim, and Shannon Lester described herself as like an alpha woman, and she just does not agree or subscribe to that type of archetype of a person, and it irritates her. And Meghan is everything that irritates her, since Shalon is an alpha woman and Meghan is seemingly a professional victim for what she's describing her, and she can't stand it. She can't stand it. And then I guess she's mentioned in their Netflix documentary, and that fueled the fire even more. So I'm kind of understanding what's going on here with Shalon's relationship and with Meghan, but I want to get more into like the lawsuit. There's something always going on with these two, like truly. But it's interesting. It's all very, very interesting. We're gonna get more into it when I get back from work. But I'm just like, suing Meghan and Harry. What would she be able to even get from that? Like, a settlement? Like, what is she trying to get from this? I gotta get more into it, because like I said, I just saw a tweet, and I went over to her channel, and it's very clear that she despises Meghan. So I'll get more into it and try to do a little bit more research throughout my day. But I just wanted to touch on that and get that out before I got my day started. But I'll see you guys a little bit later.
Middle-aged Caucasian.
What did you call me?
That's not the typical quote-unquote trolls. These are housewives. These are middle-aged Caucasian women.
Housewives. Middle-aged. Caucasian. Meghan, sweetheart, my baby girl, you're older than me, okay? I'm not a housewife. Actually, I have a job. You know who doesn't have a job outside of being married to someone? You. And again, of course, the race card has to be trotted out. Caucasian women. Of course, there's plenty of Black creators who don't like Meghan Markle. Candace Owens being chief among them. There's probably many Asian creators, many gay creators, many trans creators. But if you include those in this bullshit coverage, that doesn't fit Meghan Markle's narrative of constant racial oppression. That doesn't fit the narrative whatsoever. So she is going to be racist towards us and say that it's all middle-aged white women housewives. So again, hold up. We're not the typical trolls. Okay, we've established that we're not trolls because we have an audience. So you call that an influencer. So you say you're middle-aged housewives. Now hold on. Now you're contradicting what you just said, which is these people have so much influence and they have such a deep network, but they're fucking nobodies that nobody cares about. Which is it? Which is it, Chris Boozy? Because nothing you're saying is making any sense. But then again, is that not typical now of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Have we not come to expect this? And you know, when I first saw myself in this documentary, I actually didn't believe it. My friend was like, my friend just texted me and asked if my friend Shannon was in the Meghan and Harry documentary. I was like, no, I don't think so. And then boop, 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 the phone blows up. And I'm like, look at that. And my friend's like, this is awesome, the clout. I was like, yeah, like, that's fine. Like, I don't care. And then I watched the full clip. And to put me in the category of not just as bad as someone in QAnon or MAGA, which again, what does that mean? Are you talking about Proud Boys? Are you talking about white supremacists, Capitol rioters? Oh, wait, to you, they're all the same people, simply because they're not woke leftists. So anyone who is not slobberingly leftist is a Proud Boy, is a Nazi, is a fascist. That is the absolute implication here. When you put me anywhere near the category of those fucking lunatics, you start a real problem with me. When again, what if the reality is, Meghan and Harry, people just don't like you. You're cringy assholes. And your endless victim tour of the United States, nay, the world.
Caucasian women creating just constant attacks from go back to America to basically, why don't you die?
Oh, okay, so now I've been issuing death threats. Again, I would love to see it. This pisses me off. It pisses me off because when we look at a documentary by a reputable company like Netflix, you know what we do? We believe what we see. We tend to think, wow, this is well researched and well shot and well scripted and well lit and microfilm. Like, this is a real solid piece of journalism we can trust. The fuck it is. This is the biggest bunch of horseshit journalism I've ever seen in my life. And guess who knows all about horseshit journalism? Me. I work for Star Magazine. Sometimes it takes one to know one, huh? So the fact that Netflix is putting this out as something even resembling fact is not only deeply unsettling, it's illegal. It's illegal. There is a myriad of things that this violates. And I'm going to be pursuing that. And by the way, you know what's going to be like the first line of my legal letter? Could you not use a clip from a video from this year when I was thin? You had to take it old school when I was a bit of a butterball. Very irritating. I look so good now. It's all very irritating, very untoward. Fighting dirty, low blows. Because you know what's crazy? Like, and this is, we talk a lot about liars and what to do when people come after your reputation, when they're spreading a false narrative, when they're lying, all of these things. And what do I always tell you? Just give them enough rope to hang themselves. That's all you have to do.